like no other girl. Baby, you are the one for me. Baby, you are the one for me. Yeah, clear as daylight for anyone to see. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Trying out some new stuff in the setup, so I figured I'd go live and try it out live and see if this stuff works. Primarily a new mic, new audio interface. As far as I can tell, my meters are showing that I'm coming through. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure it's working, but just to double check here, because this is a whole new system. Hopefully this new microphone is working. Not that there was anything wrong with the other one. It's just the other one was very sensitive to noise and things in here. This one's supposed to be a lot better. Took a little tweaking, so that's why once I go live here, I can tell more if it's going to sound better than the last one, how close I need to be from the mic. I'm pretty far, get a little closer, sounds better. Yeah, so just let me know in the chat here if you guys are hearing everything okay and it's sounding okay. It's sounding okay in my headphones. And again, it's very directional, so if I move here, well, you can still hear it from side to side. It's got a kind of a heart pattern, so it's from both sides in here, but it rejects everything from there. So hopefully it'll reject some of the screen noise and static, electric static and stuff. But I'll tell you, the setup was not easy, putting a new audio interface in place and combining it with my old one to route things differently so that I can the primary reason I needed to get the new interface was for the recording purposes. It's a lot more advanced, and I have to use both interfaces, the Focusrite and the new one as well, in order to do demos where I'm actually recording a song using the recording software, so you guys could hear it and everything. It has to be routed very much differently to go through the live streaming system, and to make it sound okay, so it doesn't sound like it's underwater or compressed and all that other crap. Anyway, I'm assuming you guys can hear me, but sounds great, Dennis. And okay, cool. So you shouldn't be hearing any static, or you might hear a little bit of that. If I stop speaking, you'll hear it just a little bit. So I might have to make a few minor adjustments to the gain setting on the mic, but it seems to be working. All right, so let me just quickly go into chat, say hi to you guys. Joe Hervey, how are you? Upside Down. Quentin James, getting your guitar soon, Monday, looks like. So that'd be awesome. You must be excited. Pooh Ninja, how are you? Moon to the Moon. Lefty Mike, how are you, buddy? Now I have to do a live stream of me watching. Yeah, you can do that. Whatever floats your boat, brother. And let me see what else we've got here. I think I saw Janice Layla's in the house. Layla's Guitars in the house. Dave R's, or it's not Dave. Yeah, Dave R Guitars. How are you? You must be, yeah, it's after, it must be morning for you or noontime, I guess. Hope you're doing good. It was a good show last night. I always enjoy watching your Live Wires show with Brian. It's a really good show. I like it a lot. So keep up the great work, folks. And if you haven't checked it out, check out Live Wires. Go subscribe to that channel and check them out. Let's see. Make sure Tommy's 49's in here. Just dipped in to say hi. Well, hello, hello. And David Ennis says, sounds great. Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Because it's a friggin' lot of work trying to set all this new stuff up to make it sound okay. Okay, turned on my live to watch Brian. I didn't know you were live. Oh, I checked, but I didn't see it unless I just checked at the wrong time. I was working from home today, so I finished at 3, and I was doing some setup earlier today yesterday a lot with this new equipment that just came in, so I had to get a lot of stuff figured out, and I figured, well, it's 3 o'clock, I'm done, take a break and test it all out and see if it fails or if it works. But so far it looks okay. I still have a few issues with the live streaming software where when I want to do a live picture-in-picture screen, my video, like the desktop part of it works okay, but the picture-in-picture, like if I bring in my camera shot of me, it's kind of laggy or something. So, but I don't know. I'll have to investigate a little more to find out what's going on with that. So I want to see if I put this down here, it should still be okay. Mike Pretentious does that have phantom power? This mic doesn't need phantom power, but what I had to do was get this separate box, and that box does need phantom power because this mic needs a lot of gain in it. Otherwise, if you just plug the mic directly into a mixer, you'll have to crank the gain on the mixer quite a bit to get a signal, and then you're going to introduce a ton of noise. So what they recommend with this mic, you can get something called a cloud lifter, just a little box. I think it's $80 or whatever. You plug your mic into that, and then out of that box into your mixer, and that gives you clean gain into the mic, and that way it can get a better signal and less noise. So technically you don't need phantom power to run the mic by itself, but you need a box really to get the most out of your mic and to get less noise and everything, and that box will need phantom power. So the interface, well, both my mixer and this new interface that I'm using now has separate phantom power on whatever channel you go to, so it's not an issue. Okay, Janice said she was listening to Dave's show last night, but I had buffering while I was driving. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't get too much buffering when I'm watching Dave's live show, but I do get buffering when I watch, like Pete Thorne on Sunday. I typically get a lot of buffering on that show. I don't know why certain shows, depending on your connection, I guess, have better results than others. When I try to watch Dave Byron's stuff as well, I get some buffering quite a bit, so I usually have to watch replays on some of those. I don't have any issues with hacks or Ben's, and the live wires seem to be working well too, and Eric's channel seems to be good too. But sometimes, depending on the channel, maybe the bandwidth or whatever's going on, getting into my house, it's hit or miss sometimes. Let's see. Quentin says the mic sounds great. Okay, well that's good. I haven't really adjusted too much. What's cool about it is, okay. So what I should do is tell you what the interface is that I got to run with this. It's an interface by Universal Audio. It's the Apollo Twin. Hold on, let me grab the box. Give me 1 second. I wanted to hook up another. I have like a little handheld camera that's wireless that connects to the system, but I didn't have a chance to get all that stuff hooked up so that I could actually bring the camera over to the mixer area and show you it. But so this is the box for it. It's the Universal Audio Apollo Twin, and the way that I have it set up is it's my main interface where my mixer goes into this, and then my mic goes directly into another channel of this interface so that I can use plugins directly and so forth. But I also have a channel or a line out of that goes into my Focusrite to adjust different volumes independently. So it's a little bit, it's hard to explain, like it really is, because it was hard to get it all configured properly for what I was trying to do. But nonetheless, that's what it is, and it's a really good interface. Yeah, a lot of people use it in professional studios and stuff. But the cool thing is that, let me show you, I can cut to that screen and I can show you that you can add preamp plugins and compressors right on the channel of the mic. Let me just cut to that, and I'll do that. Oh my God, Jason, I'm not even going to repeat that. Bam Ozzy, how are ya? Just going to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. But anyway, you can see on the screen that this interface, it has its own control software panel type of thing. And the cool thing is you can use real-time plugins inside each channel strip. And yeah, you can see my mouse moving a little bit, but you can see where the meter is running. It's on analog channel 2. And on that, I have a couple of plugins in there. And one of them is an actual tube preamp and a compressor. So you can, that's how you get really good vocals or radio mic. Like when you listen to radio personalities and stuff, they're all running through preamps and compressors and so forth. And using a good quality mic, you can get some really good, good sounding audio. So this is real time stuff because the interface comes with processors built in that can handle doing this stuff without latency, and also give you real-time effects. So and one of the main reasons I got the interface was for the recording purposes, because you can plug your guitar directly into this thing if you wanted to and run inserts of plugins and record that, or you can get a nice clean sound from the Helix into that going into your recording software. So it's really more of a professional solution when it comes to recording and audio. So that's why I went with that. So let me just go back to my shot here. Yeah, so it's just tricky setting everything up. Like, it's not tricky if you just get the interface and you plug the interface directly into your Mac or PC or whatever, and you go directly that way without having to route stuff differently. My phone is kind of making noise here. Bear with me. But when you're plugging it into a system where you have a mixer and you have a separate monitor control box, you have stuff that has to go into the live streaming software in a separate channel so you can control it separately so it doesn't echo and sound weird. That's where it becomes a little confusing, and it's just, you'll figure it out, but it's just, man, it was a long day yesterday trying to get everything sorted out and sounding good. And even this mic, when I plugged this in, there's certain settings that I needed to tweak quite a bit. Otherwise, I was getting way too much background noise and hiss. But so it seems to be working okay. I guess I'll stick with it for a while and see what happens. Poo Ninja says pause a half second back from live and the buffering. Yeah, I do that sometimes, Poo. I just I rewind about maybe, like you said, even up to 30 seconds to even a minute back if I can, and that seems to give me a little bit more time before it starts buffering again. But some channels are worse than others for some reason, and I don't know why, because Pete Thorne I'm sure he has a good internet connection because he streams from that studio quite a bit. I don't think he has an issue, but when I watch his stuff, I always get buffering. Sorry, playing guitar and watching. Jason Wade says, "Yeah, play away, man. Play away." Wood grain, yeah, I know they're pretty cool. The plugins, they actually, design them so they look like the real deal. But that interface has 4 independent CPUs in it, so it's basically running all these things. You can even, you can run delays and all kinds of stuff in here with real time. So I could add reverb, testing 1 2 test. I'd like to introduce you today. So you can do cool stuff like that and have real time effects if you want. But the interface, here's some more reverb. Testing 1 2 1 2. Yeah. There you go. R2, R3. In the top corner, we got R2, R3 jumping in here. Here we are. Anyway, you can get carried away. You know what I mean. But yeah, you can run real-time effects in it, and it's, the 4 processors can handle it. If you were running this in software, like your recording software, you can add plugins and stuff, and then the problem is your computer takes a hit as far as how many things you're trying to do at once, and, latency becomes an issue. So this interface helps that a lot because it has, the one I bought has 4 processors in it. You can get the one just beneath this one. It's another Apollo twin, but it's called a core duo or single or whatever, where you only have 2 processors in it. But it's more than enough, depending on, I don't, even 4 is probably overkill for me as far as processors, how much I'm going to be using stuff when I'm recording in real time. But that's what I got, because I figured, if I want to expand down the road in the future, I'll have enough power to in that interface to do stuff that I might want to do. Let's see. In the bathroom. I know, right? That you can get carried away with this stuff. The other thing with the plugins, it comes with a good selection of plugins when you buy the unit, like free. But obviously, it has tons of universal audio plugins that you can buy, and after the fact. But they're not cheap, man. There's like one plugin can be $100. So I'm just using the ones that basically they include with the interface, and they seem to be working fine. They have a couple of cool guitar things where you plug your guitar directly into the interface, and then you can run like a Marshall Plexi. They have different amp models. It's basically another modeling platform at that point when you do it that way. But I was playing around with the Marshall stuff because that comes with it as well, and I was able to get some pretty cool sounds. I don't know how much I'm going to use that part because I use the Helix for all my guitar stuff, and it's okay. I don't think Pete has the best internet for streaming there. I too have. Okay, so I'm not alone with having issues with watching his channel live. I thought it was just my internet connection that was shitty, and because some channels, like I said, I have no problem. Like Ben's, I can watch his no problem, and Guitar Hack as well. A few other ones like Eric's EVH, or not EVH anymore. It's just Rock Shop and all that stuff. It doesn't buffer, but you'd figure some of the big ones like Pete Thorne and stuff would be fine. But Steve from Boston's channel usually works fine. Philip McKnight's channel usually works fine, okay, like as well. But I don't know. I guess it's hit or miss. Chicken guitars. You got your iced tea coffee. Yeah, I didn't get my coffee. I had one a little bit about 2 hours ago, so I'm going to wait another hour or so before I have another one. I'm just having water right now. Simon Williams. How's it going? So I guess I'm just going to strum a few chords on the guitar because I need to get the signal to record in the live stream so I can listen back and see if I'm getting excessive noise or any underwater type of sound. And, you know the gist of it. I like that new Eventide H9000, but it's a little bit of, the Eventide stuff is always nice, but it's pricey. I'm not a big, oops, oh, there goes my mic. Okay, that's interesting. Let me see if I can adjust this. I haven't figured out my mounting solution with this mic because it was all set up for my other mic. And this mic's got a different mounting system. All right. I don't know why it's doing that. All right. Wow. It's a heavy mic. It's a friggin' mic that's built like a tank, so it's definitely big and heavy. I don't know if you guys can, with this, the other mic, you could hear a lot of the, if I was picking, if I didn't mute my mic, you'd hear a lot of the picking noise. But with this one, I think it's better isolated. Chicken Guitars found a great coffee hack. Put a low-carb caramel protein shake. Interesting. Low-carb caramel protein shake in iced coffee. Interesting. Is it keto friendly? If it is, then that's pretty cool. I'll try that. This is a new patch that I was working on yesterday. It's basically kind of a bluesy type of, like it's got a little bit of drive, but you can really control it with volume. It's got a lot of some snap into it, which I like. What do we've got? It's keto approved. Okay, well, I'll check that out. Send me a link or something to the actual ingredients and how you make it. It's got that snap into it. You can feel the... That's what I always aim for when I'm making a patch or an amp or something. I like to have that little bit of tube type of, feedback or compression or whatever it is. It bounces back a little bit. Simon Williams, how are you? So yeah, hopefully that sounds okay and it doesn't sound like it's underwater or has a lot of delay. Which amp model is that? That is the, I'll tell you in a bit. I always have a hard time saying the name of it. It's an archetype. I think it's, no, this is the German Mahadiva. Yeah, Mahadiva. That's what it's called. I'm not sure what it's modeling. They don't call the amps exactly what they're like. They don't call a Marshall. So this one is called the German Mahadiva. So, and I've got it set drive pretty low on this one. I can show you the patch if you want. Let me see. Let me push. No, not that. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. So you can see the patch here. I don't know how well it's showing up on your screen, but let me try to enlarge it. See if that helps. And I've got a Timmy in front of it, and I've got an EP boost at the end of it. And I adjusted those a little bit. But the actual drive, on the amp is pretty low for this particular snapshot. I'll just call this the blues snapshot. So it gives you some drive, but it's not overly saturated. My other snapshot, the rock snapshot I call it, it's still using this same amp model, but the drive absolutely goes up a little bit. Let me drop down tuning for Mr. Joe Hervey. Bit more gain on the other channel, which is call it a crunch channel, which if I can switch it. That's a little bit lower register and with a lot of gain, obviously. R2 says I'm sipping on an Imperial Stout. Oh, cool. You're on vacation? Oh, nice. Congrats, man. Oh, what was that? Oh, there you go. I got a text from my wife, and you just saw it come up. It says, I'll be late. Oh, well. That's the other thing. All the system sounds are coming through the system. So if I play something on YouTube or whatever, you guys will be able to hear it now. Where in the past I could kind of get it working, but it sounded like shit. So now it sounds like it should. Apparently, I hope anyway. When I listen back, I'll find out. I'll find out fast enough. Let me just see. Back off the highs, a little bit more mids. Yeah, the other thing, Joe Hervey, what happens is when you can get your sound, like in here, it doesn't sound exactly the same as what you're hearing after it goes through the YouTube system, so that affects some of the frequencies. So I have it set for coming through my monitors here and have it set when I'm recording to get exactly that sound. So it is tweaked a little bit differently than what you're hearing, but I try to get it as close as I can. He got a gut crunching death metal channel. Yeah, I don't think it's death metal, but I definitely don't shy away from playing metal. I've grew up with metal. I like it a lot. Now I don't have a lot of death metal bands that I follow or anything like that. I'm more of a, the thrash years and the 80s, that type of stuff. I like some of the stuff that came out in the 90s and the 2000s or whatever, like Godsmack and Disturbed and those bands, and if you consider those metal. A little bit of trash, yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah, and I'm just using that drop pedal. Basically, I'm not tuning my guitar. I'm just hitting the button and it tunes down half step, full step, or even lower. Now I'm tuned down to full step, so it's just like D, but my guitar is still tuned to E, or 440. Morris Gilbert. How does that go again? I'm tuned too low. Hold on. Now I'm back in regulars. I like that part. I might be mixing up two different songs. I don't know. It's all for fun, folks. Let me see. Am I missing anything? Tag me in the chat if you need to get my attention for any reason. This is primarily a test to see if this new mic is going to work out, and I'm going to stick with this one. And it's also a test to check out the new interface going through the live streaming system to make sure that that is all working properly. Yeah, so that seems to be working. Let me put up the... hold on a second. Yeah, that'll work a little better, right? This, and let me put this up. There you go. Yeah. Creeping Death. Yeah, that was Creeping Death. See you guys answering each other's questions. Awesome. Glad you guys jumped in. Basically, just a quick stream this afternoon and little chat, little fun while you guys maybe take a break. Brian, you use a thick pick. I use right now this one is a 1.14 mil. I usually like 1 mil or above. I'd probably even try 1.5 at some point, but I had 0.88s for a while and I found them there's too much flex. I can't have too much flex in the pick. It doesn't feel right to me. I need to have that bounce back a little bit when I hit the string. I don't know. The attack is different when when the pick is flexing a little too much. And I guess being a bass player originally, that's, very much using very thick picks on the bass. Just got used to that style and that feel. I did try some other picks as I got back into music and got playing guitar, but I seem to now have fallen kind of in favor with these ones. These ones are from D'Addario, and these are called Dura Grips, and I also have some Dunlop. These are 1.14 as well. These are Dunlop. I don't remember what the name of the actual pick is, but it's just a kind of this silver. Can you see that? Silver pick there. It's got a little bit of texture on it for grip, I guess. All right, so let me put back the gain, dial the gain down a bit. Back to a little bit more reasonable. Nothing wrong with gain, I guess. Control denied. What are we talking about now, guys? Let me in the conversation here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay. Suffocation is a great band. Few different members over the years. Suffocation. Sounds familiar. I don't remember it, though. Yeah, that was a little bit of Four Horsemen. The thrash metal and fun riffs knows... every time I play a riff, he knows exactly where it's coming from. And if I'm mixing up two songs, My Darkest Hour, yeah. I used to know that whole song, but it's been a long time. And Dave, Ari's Guitar, says he's a 1.14 to 2 mil. Yeah. So that's where my comfort zone seems to be as well. But I have tried a bunch of things. I like, Bam says he likes thin picks. 0.5, 0.7 is generally the lowest. Really? Wow. Yeah, I guess it depends the style of player you are, too. Like if you're a strummer, if you're like, the type of music you're playing. It's got to feel comfortable, I guess. Guitar, man, that has a killer Joe Perry tone when you lighten up on your... Yeah, I know, right? That's why I try to create these types of patches where I can really control it with the pick dynamics, basically how hard I pick or light or control the volume. Once I get to that sweet spot in my amp settings and I can get that reaction and that... dynamics, I guess, is what it's really called. I know I'm in a good place as far as amp setting and patch creating. So, but it's taken a long time. I got the Helix about a year and a half ago when I purchased it. And even though I haven't been a Helix full-time type of guy, it's been a few months that I have transitioned only to the Helix. But before that, I was using tube amps and pedals and Helix. I was mixing everything. But it took me a while. And once I sat down with the Helix and only concentrated on using the Helix and kind of got rid of everything else, then I started to develop, what I really wanted out of a tone and figure out what these settings are in the amp settings, like the bias and the hum and the ripple and the sag, all that stuff. Once you start to play with that stuff and you get it to a sweet spot where you can really create, dynamics in your playing, that's where it becomes a lot of fun. But I don't mind. Like this is kind of, I have a lot of gain on one snapshot called crunch, right? Then I have kind of in the middle of the road, a little less gain. Then I have what I like to call like a more of a blues patch, where it's so a lot less gain, but you can do more. And when I do those, I like to select both pickups and then just roll back a little bit on the neck pickup so it's not so boomy, right? So right now both. Then I just roll back a little bit. Just to bring in a little bit more high end. And with that, once you set that really good as far as your gain, that really comes into play with your pick dynamics, right? So, right? And then if I really want to So I like stuff like that. Dave R says, I created a simple patch yesterday, Who Watt, which is a high watt 100, and the 412 with plate reverb and a Minotaur. Yeah, I like the Minotaur a lot too. Cool. Do you mind sharing that? Really? Yeah, I'll share this patch with you, man. I'll send you the patch through email or whatever. I am using a custom IR, so I'll send you that as well. Or, I mean, you can put whatever cabinet you want, but this one is currently using a, let me see what it is so I remember myself. This is a Onhammer 412 Marshall V vintage 30s, and it's got, I guess, a studio setup, so it's probably a 121 Royer mic and a 57, SM57. So that's the IR I'm using. But yeah, I can send that your way if you want. And you can play around with it if you like it. And that goes for any one of you guys. If you're using a Helix and you like the patch, just let me know, and I can send you that. You want tone .73mm nylon EVH picks? Really? It seems a little thin. 73 mil for me, because this 1.14 here is good, but even this one could have a little less flex if I was to be totally honest. But anyway, I built this patch, I should say, yesterday, and I built it using the R6, so that was P90 pickups. So it's even better. Well, it's more geared for the P90s, but I just picked up this guitar today just to play, and I ran it through the same patch, and it runs. It sounds good through that one as well. But I find sometimes, depending on the guitar you're playing, you can build a patch just for that guitar, because they have a different feel depending on the pickups you're using, and the guitar themselves can sound differently through the same amp setup. So, but this R9, man, these pickups, I don't know, Dave, you probably know more than I do about, what these are Pro Buck. I don't even know, but there's the name of them. But man, they are absolutely insanely good, because they're not super high output. They're very controllable. I find that I get a lot more dynamics in sweet, like the sweet spots of the sound and the tone that I like. Oh, well, you get the idea. Yeah, no problem, Dave. I'll send that to you. Let's see what else we've got here. 2 mil big stubby and 2 mil. I don't know what that Ultex, whatever that is. Never tried that. Thrash Metal says Dave wrote "In My Darkest Hour" when he heard. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that story. How he wrote that, and it was after Cliff's accident. That was pretty tragic. Back in, I'd say it was it. I think it's '86. I have a 1-2 mil pick. I should have got more. Forgot to order picks last. Well, Joe, you can always order. I rake across the strings, but so does Steve from Boston. But he uses tree barks or something. Yeah, I don't know what Steve from Boston uses as far as the thickness of the pick he uses. I'm not sure what it is. Custom buckers, yeah. Can only be had on the reissues, and I just love these pickups, man. Like it's really ruined. This R9 has ruined it for every time I pick up a guitar now. It's just like, man, it just doesn't sound quite like this, and I've gotten so used to this sound from the R9. I guess I play it all the time. Like it's the first guitar I reach for every time I walk into this room. So I've gotten so used to the feel and the tone of it that it's not that I don't like my other guitars or that I don't play them and appreciate them all, but between this and the R6, it's been like that's been my two main guitars. And I used to play the Telly a lot more, and I haven't played it in a couple of weeks now. But I'll be recording some more stuff soon as originals, and I always use the Telly when I'm recording my originals. I use my Les Pauls quite a bit to get all that, but I always put a layer of guitar track that's Telly, because I just find it adds like the Les Paul and Telly mixed together. I get my sound right there when I'm doing my originals anyway. Let me see. I wish I could make this stupid chat a little bigger as far as the text. There must be a way. Let me see. No. Anyway, I'm not going to fool with it and have everything go up in smoke here. I'm trying to do too many things. Custom book, yeah. Dave says it's a hot point of contention. Everybody wants them. Gibson won't sell them separately, only on the R8, R9, RO. Yeah. Well, it might be a marketing thing as well. They know that people want these pickups, but they also know that they want to sell the reissue guitars, so it makes the reissues that much more special. It's like a PRS as well. There's PRS sells, I think it's 8515s or something. I'm not a big PRS like knowledge base or anything, but I've heard that I think it's 8515s or 8551. Some those numbers anyway are very popular pickups when it comes to PRSs, and they don't offer them as a separate thing you can buy. They only put them in I guess some guitars, some higher end guitars, and you have to buy the guitar if you want that pickup, but it's the same type of deal. So Joe Hervey's not gonna pay shipping on 4 to 7 buck order. I know, right? When you buy picks and stuff, especially if you're getting them shipped or whatever, you gotta be like buy something else. Like if you're going to buy stuff anyway, like get some strings, some picks, a couple other things, put it all in the same order. That way you're not just paying shipping on a bunch of picks or something. All right, R2, have a great day. Kids are back from school. Rock on, brother. Yeah, custom buckers are Gibson's most faithful recreation of the PAF. Yeah, I love them. They fit my style and tone, like what I like to hear perfectly. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, how's everything else going with you folks? Hope you're all having a good, I guess it's end of the week now. We can officially say that. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm off tomorrow. I'm off on Fridays from April to the end of October. I take all Fridays off. It's like I have vacation to take, but instead of taking like 3-4 weeks or something, I just split it up and just take days instead of a full week at a time. That way it gives me a nice long weekend in the summer anyway until October. So this is really my end of the week. Oh, I know what I wanted to try. Because I haven't been able to do this in the past, but now that I've got my two interfaces hooked up, I want to try to bring up a drum loop using Easy Drummer. So, because I want to do some demos on that stuff in the future, but I was never able to get it to work properly. So let me see if that'll work now. Let me see if I can find my Easy Drummer. Easy Drummer, where are you? Easy Drummer right here. Let me load that up. Hopefully that works. And let me go. Let me switch the screen so you can actually see it. Here we go. So this is Easy Drummer. Let me do a search browser here. Let's go to just American rock, mid-tempo. Let me go to a verse. Does that work? No, it does not. Oh, I think I have to go into the settings. And it's because I haven't set this up yet as far as my new interface. So you guys are going to get to see this happen live. So yes, you'll see audio MIDI setup, audio device. See, it's looking for my output device, my old Scarlett. So now I have to switch that to the universal audio. Buffer size, I want to get a little lower buffer size. And let's see if that explodes or it works. Apply. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh yeah. So that works. The drum kit I'm using is this kind of modern drum kit here. So if I go back to my browser, let me put that in here. And if we loop that, I can control that volume. You guys should be able to hear this, right? Let me know if you hear that. You guys hear that drum loop? Let me see. Here I am, your Rocket Queen. Okay, so I'm assuming you can hear the drum loop. Right? Okay, I'm gonna assume you can hear that. All right, well that works, but let me see, where is it coming in here? Is it, huh. Interesting. Bear with me here. It's working, but it's not doing exactly what I'm looking at the thing. Out channels, output, MIDI device, MIDI channel. I'll have to check that because I want to trigger it so it goes into this mixer here. Because right now it's not, but it's still working technically, which is, I think. Yes, we can. Okay. All right. So that's one thing we figured out together here. Let me see. Straight tempo, chorus. Let me get rid of this. Remove that. I don't know why I'm playing that, but just kind of went with that beat, I suppose. But yeah, this is a great little program. Stop. There we go. Country grooves. I have all kinds of stuff that I've purchased in the last year and a half for Easy Drummer. You can buy packs, which just basically gives you a ton more loops and things. But the cool thing with Easy Drummer is that you can really shape it to be like, it's not just a loop. It's actually a drummer playing this in studio, and they recorded every velocity, every hit. So if you want to change the velocity of the snare hit and all that stuff, you can do that, which is pretty awesome. If I can even change that to another. I can pick any snare drum or I can mix and match stuff in a kit, or I can pick a totally different kit. Right now I'm using the modern, but if I wanted to, I could use a modern vintage, which I think is completely different. No? Let me see. Roomy rock. Huh, that's weird. Okay, there we go. So that gives you a whole different type of sound. Okay, so let me just say, hey, Butterfly, what's going on? Nice to see you. You did that on purpose, turning Guns N' Roses into John Cougar Mellencamp. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. God bless America. Hello. It's like your own programmable band. Yeah, not band, but drummer. Yes, you can definitely do a lot of stuff with this as far as drums. You can pick different kits. They've got Gretches, Ludwig's, Pearl. It's loading up this Gretsch kit here. And I think it should sound... I haven't used these ones. Let me go to Vintage Dirty Rock. What's that? There we go. Yeah, that's a little, that snare. See, I like the rest of the kit, but I'm not a big fan of the snare, so I can go in here and pick a different one. I like that one, I guess. Now listen to it. I just don't know if the mix is okay, because the drums might be quite a bit louder than the guitar. I mean, you guys let me know in the chat here. Pete Hickson, I have a Boss Dr. Rhythm for 25 years still works fine. Yeah, I've never tried the Dr. Rhythm. They have a new version that came out in Summer NAMM. Apparently, it's really cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. I had a guitar when I was a kid, never learned to play it. Oh, no strings attached. You need the strings to learn, brother. Got to get that going. Very AC/DC. Yeah, Maurice. I agree. Were the drums a lot louder than the guitar, though? I'm trying to figure out the mix here in my headphones. I can't, like, it sounded, the drums were a little louder. But let me know, because I'd like to see if I can set it equal. I'll give it about 20 seconds for you guys to hear that question, and then you should be able to give me an answer here. Drums louder or guitar? Guitar. No, it was a decent mix, really? Okay. All right, well, in my headphones, it sounded like the drums were a little loud. You can change the tempo quite a bit. Let me see what that's. That's kind of slow. Try this. All right, let me go to a blues pack. We got a shuffles. Let's see, shuffles here. Hi-hat closed. There you go. Getting carried away now. I do a lot of songwriting that way, where I'll just load up let me change my camera here for you guys. Where I can load up a couple of loops, something different. Just if I'm trying to find an idea or working on an idea, or I have something in my head, but I'm not really, haven't really worked it out as much as I should have. I kind of go through, and sometimes I'll get inspired to play, something a little different by just loading up a loop and jamming along to it. And like even that little part that I was doing there, that's just something as I was playing that was starting to come together and just really, get focused in on an actual song at some point. So it's a really cool program. If you haven't ever tried it, I highly recommend it. It's called Easy Drummer. You can get there's another version on top of that that's a lot better. It's a lot better. It has more features, I think. It's called Superior Drummer. It's from the same company. The company's called TuneTrack. And Easy Drummer 2, I think it's not very expensive, and I think they even have like a demo or some different versions that are less expensive. And then you can just it comes with a couple of packs built in when you buy the Easy Drummer program, and then if you wanted a specific pack where it was more metal or more blues or rock or whatever, you can just buy that pack separately, and the packs aren't that expensive. They're 20 or $30 or something of that nature. But it's a great tool if you're just sitting around on your computer and you have a guitar that you can run through a recording software. You can, write some songs. And these are real drummers. It is drum loops technically, but these are all sampled from real drummers playing in real studios, playing the best equipment. So it sounds really you heard it. I mean, it doesn't sound like a processed computer playing it. It sounds like a real person, because even the rolls, the hits and stuff, the velocity, everything changes. It's not all like the same all the time. And then you can go in and tweak it quite a bit more. Like I could go into each individual drum and say, at this part, I don't want you to hit this cymbal, or if I want you to hit this cymbal a little lighter than that time, you can do all that stuff. You can get really in depth with this stuff. And I'll tell you something, it's a lot easier than having to hire a drummer to come to my house, bring his whole drum set, mic everything, get everything sounding properly, getting him to learn the songs, and then recording that way. So this is quite a bit more convenient, let me put it to you that way. And for the price of whatever this, there's a couple $100 for this program, I think. The version I have anyway. I think you can get a cheaper version if you're not looking to do all like crazy stuff, just you want basic drums. You can get it for a little cheaper probably. But it's worth it for me because it saves me so much time. Quit and go eat your ribeye, brother. I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I think I'm having pork chops or something. Pete Dixon says, good mix. All right, well, that's good because it did sound a little bit like the drums were a little loud in my headphones compared to my guitar, but that could be just my settings here for my mix and my in-ears. Needs to be... a riff saved is a riff earned. Yeah, exactly. .38 special comes to mind. Yeah. This, and I'm just using the low gain. It's kind of my blues patch on my Helix, which gives me like more of that classic rock blues type of style. Seems to work very well with these types of guitars. So it's too early to get naked. I'm not getting naked. You can go ahead and do that if you want. Good day, Vars guitar says 129 to 179 US is. I'm assuming he's giving us the price of Easy Drummer. So yeah, see, that's not bad. And I'm telling you, if you're doing any type of music or writing or things like that with your computer, it's definitely worth it. For me, anyway, it's a huge benefit to have something like that. It's a great writing tool, and it's great just to sit around and jam on something, bring up a couple of different drum loops, and you can stack them so you have different parts all written out, and you just jam along to them. There's a built-in click track in it too, so if you were working on scales, you just wanted the click going, and you wanted a metronome type of thing, so you could try to get your timing in right. So it's a great practice tool as well. And I'm not endorsed by this. I'm not endorsed by anybody. so take my word as just me using the stuff and my experience with it. Nobody's paying me shit to do this. Butterfly says she's already there. She's swinging shirt above the head. Good Lord, what's going on at your house, Butterfly? What's Eric doing? Oh, it's never a bad time to get naked. Yeah. Dave R is trying to sell his pants for. Is that what he's doing? That's the price of his pants, $129 to $149. Geez, expensive pants, man. Cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. $129 for pants. I don't think I've ever paid more than $80, I think, for jeans or pants or whatever. Only drums or percussions in general. Yeah, you can, not just drums, you can get like an actual percussion. So just like if you needed just a cowbell or, I don't know, tambourines, things like that, there's an actual pack that just has that stuff. So you can, add it into whatever song you're putting. You need just to add like some sort of percussion, you can do that. So with this stuff, it's pretty flexible that way. I'm just trying to see if there's something different. Vintage. Where's my old? There's one that's like a really cool drum set that is kind of like a Zeppelin style with a. Let me see. Is it Roomy Rock? Not sure if that's the one I'm looking for. Kind of. So you just listen, get that in your head a little bit. See if you like the speed. If you don't, you adjust it. You can even change the timing. So this is a straight 4/4 beat. Sometimes you play stuff that makes absolutely no sense, and then you'll fall on a note that kind of rings out, right? It has nothing to do with the riff you're playing. Sorry. My phone ring. All right. That was cool. My phone rang and it came through my system. And obviously everything that's coming through the computer system is going through the interface, which goes to the live stream. So that's one thing I need to figure out how to minimize. So yeah, so you get the gist, right? You can use it as quite a good tool to jam with, to write with. You get inspired by different things, and just it's a lot of fun. Got a fever. Thoughts on Kiesel guitars? Not Jay's episode, but overall, I don't know. I tried the ones that were at NAM. They were good. I didn't see any, like I didn't play them for an extended period of time or anything, but the ones I picked up felt okay. The thing with Kiesel guitars is, I don't know. It took me about a year and a half to really try a bunch of different things, but I've landed on the stuff that that really speaks to me as far as what I like. And obviously you guys know what those are, playing it right now. And everything else is nice, but if I'm going to spend the money to go buy a guitar, it's got to be like I'm kind of focused on my core, the ones that that really speak to me. If I had a ton of money and I could buy any guitar in the world and I could, build my studio up, I'd have, different types. Like I'd buy a Jackson and a Charvel and Ibanez and all kinds of other things. But if I can only have the ones that really speak to me, and that's all I can really, afford, or I want to spend, I use it for Les Pauls, Tellys. Even the Strat is like, I play it very rarely, and it's a great guitar. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's comfortable and it sounds good. It's just, every time I pick up a guitar in the studio, it seems to be the R9 or the R6 for the majority of the stuff, and then the Telly. So kind of stick with that. But I don't have any issues with the Kiesel guitars, and the ones that I've played at NAMM felt great. They looked like they were built like really like high end. They weren't cheap, but I don't know. Even that and the Vola guitars I tried that were really nice as well. But if I had that money and you showed me a Kiesel and you said, hey, this one's $3,000, you want to buy it? And I'd take the $3,000 and go buy another Les Paul, I think. I'm in the market. Well, I'm not in the market, but I'm always on the lookout for, right now, it's the Les Paul Custom black. A black Custom is kind of, a white one would be nice too, but I think my preference is black. I'm not looking to buy it anytime soon, but I'm always looking, and if I find a good deal or something that really sticks, I would pull the trigger on it if I was able to. Yeah, it's all relative. If you dig Gibson, you dig Gibson. If you dig Fender, you dig. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean one or the other is bad. Same with the rest of the companies. Exactly, right? Like I have no qualms about saying PRS is an awesome company, great guitars. And I've tried a bunch of them. I've owned some since I've gotten back into music. But you put a PRS in front of me and a Les Paul, I'm always going to gravitate to the Les Paul. So that's me. That's personally what my, we're all individual as far as what we like and our styles and stuff. And I always, my intuition has served me pretty well so far in life, and I kind of follow that. So if my gut and my brain are telling me, this is what really is going to work for you, then I kind of listen to it. But I don't shy away from trying different things. It's just, like the other, exactly, Jason, like the other Brian, not sure. LOL for the white one, just get the Buckethead signature. Yeah. No, I like the black one quite a bit with the white binding. But I'd have to, there's different versions of that. Like the Custom Shop makes a 68 reissue of that one and a 57, I think. And they're different. The 68, I think the frets are like, they call it the fretless wonder or whatever. They're really, really small frets. So I'd have to play that as opposed to something like my R9 here as far as frets go. So, but the ones I've played, I can't remember if they weren't fretless type of frets. They were really they were normal. So, but I like it. Steve has a nice PRS 245 white. I got. Oh yeah. Okay. You're gonna get it upside down. Just trying to justify. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, hey, Rick Hefner's in the house. You know, you have to justify these purchases. And I've spent, money on other things in the studio. So it's not all guitars. It's, getting these, like the mic, the interface, all this setup too, that I use for recording, but I also use in my day-to-day job as far as producing video and live streaming and everything else that I do on a regular basis outside of what we're doing here today. So, there's only so much you can do. Tomorrow is Friday, and Butterfly and Ladybug show will be on again. I'm off work. Oh, hell. Yeah, they go on around 10 o'clock, right? So I always try to get in there. Friday, because I'm off, if I'm not out doing something or whatever, I'll turn it on and listen. I always enjoy that show. It's always a lot of fun. So if any of you guys are wondering, just go to Butterfly and Ladybug show, subscribe to that channel, and tune in when they're doing their live shows. They do them in the mornings at 10 a.m., usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's a lot of fun, and they cover a lot of ground. So I hope you're not easily offended, because sometimes they go outside the box, which I'm totally cool with. I enjoy that. So let's see if we can get another little drum. They also have grooves, like a groove pack, where it just basically gives you different drum grooves, things like that, or fills if you just want to add a fill somewhere in the song that you're writing. So that's just a fill. Here's some, what is this? Straight 4/4 verse. More of a country type of feel to it. Straight mid-tempo. So yeah, there's different packs. There's a metal one, Metal Machinery. And if I go to halftime verse, all right. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff in there. Chorus. Wow. High energy grooves. I'm just looking for something interesting here. Let me load this up and wow, okay, rocks. Wow. It's too many things, man. There's a lot of them. Let's see. Friday is just a couple hours away for Bam Aussie. Already Friday there for Pete Hickson. He must be across the pond as well. Dog's got to pee. Take care, Morris. Go let the dog pee, brother. Mr. Moonshine. Okay. While you guys do that, I'm just going to try something here. No, I don't like that. Let me see. Too much of that. Easy drummer. Halftime. Little heavier riff for all you heavy metal fans out there. Thrash metal, Joe Hervey. You know who I'm talking to. Okay, let's see mid-tempo. Where are you? Intro verse. No. So you can get there pretty quickly by just listening to a bunch of stuff, and then you'll start to get something worked out in your head that works well for what you're trying to do. No, not that. I'm not feeling that. Big rock drums, slow tempo, verse. No. So you get the idea. So the other thing I got yesterday. Let me put this away for a minute. Shut that off for a second. So I got this Rode wireless kit, and basically you've probably seen these around online. Rode released this kit where this is a receiver. You put that wherever your camera is. You plug that in there, and it's got a cool little mount. You can mount that right on the hot shoe of a camera, and then you put this. You can clip this onto yourself, or add a little microphone and a little lavalier, and put it up on your shirt or whatever. And it's very small. It's just a little small thing. I haven't tested battery life yet because I just got them. And what I want to do with these is, if I'm at a show somewhere, like if I'm doing any vlogging, or if I do end up going to NAMM, I'm trying to get to Winter NAMM, but I don't know if it'll happen or not. But if I do, I can use this system quite easily. I can set up my GoPro as kind of a vlogging little rig, have that attached, because the problem with the GoPro is if you're in a noisy environment, you pick up all that other noise. So if you're trying to do an interview or something, you don't really have a mic set up for your GoPro. It's pretty challenging at that point. So with this, I can mount this with my GoPro, have everything mounted properly, and then have this on either. I can attach it to maybe a little handle or whatever, and I can use it as a handheld mic, and I can just talk into it and then give it to to whoever I'm interviewing or speaking to about a product or something, and they can speak into that. So it makes it a very convenient little tight package, really small, and that's why I got that. And they're not that expensive. It was $240, I think, for the kit, the full kit, and it comes with pretty much everything you need. If you're going to go into an XLR source, you need to just buy an XLR adapter, so a mini plug to an XLR adapter, which I had already. So I'm going to test that out. I just got to find out what the battery life is on it, because the problem not a problem, but with the thing, you charge it by USB. So you plug your USB cord in there, and then you charge it that way. It's not like you can just take a battery out and put a new battery in once your battery's done. You got to take the whole unit and charge it. So I'm going to have to test and see how many hours it'll run on the battery. So if I do go to a show or something, I'll know that, okay, I'm good for the day if they're fully charged, or I'm only good for a couple hours, or whatever the case may be. But I'll let you guys know how that comes out. I know Eric has these as well. He's got them in a few weeks ago or whatever it was. I had looked at them. I just never pulled the trigger on them yet. But I looked at some reviews. Some YouTubers have them, and they seem to be doing very well. So I figured, I can get them and you put them in my kit, and that way I'll be able to, because I'm putting together a little GoPro rig, and there's a little frame thing that I bought that the GoPro sits in there. You can mount the mic, the audio adapter, and all that fun stuff. So hopefully it comes out okay, because I can always use my phone as well if I want to do any type of interviews, but with the GoPro it's easy. It's just a little camera, you turn it on, you record with your phone. Well, you can do it, but you'll have to mount it a certain way and make sure the audio is good. And Phil Mosley, what's going on, Phil? See, we're streaming at a time that is normal for you. Well, I guess normal for you is the middle of the night, so maybe not. But I think it's a little bit more reasonable, right? So if you're getting in late, we're just testing some new stuff that I got in, this mic and the new audio interface and so forth. 4:43, good Lord, I started at 3:10, so we're going well over an hour and a half. All right, so let me shut down this Easy Drummer program here. Easy Drummer, quit that. I don't want to save, don't save. Okay, all right. So everything seems to be working the way that I think it should. The mic seems to sound okay. I'll listen back to the stream to see if there is noise to be heard as far as like little hissing. I hear it a little bit in my headphones when I'm not speaking, so maybe that's getting cut out by the time it gets to you folks on YouTube, because YouTube does compress things a little bit, so maybe it's taking some of that away. But overall, I think it's a good mic. It's a very popular mic. It's the SM7, what is it? SM7B by Shure. A lot of people use these as far as podcasters and broadcasters and so forth. Joe Rogan, this is what he uses as well. Very popular podcaster, and gets great reviews or great results for audio. So I figured I'd check it out. But if you haven't heard the full little review and what it takes to get it to work properly and set up, just go back and watch the stream at the beginning. I kind of go through the setup process and how to make it work properly. Jason, you're very welcome. I'm glad you were able to jump in. Butterfly Ladybug, thank you for posting my link. I appreciate that very much. Tonight, I think Guitar Hack is going on at 8, I believe. I'm not sure, but I think he is. I'm not sure what Eric's schedule is as far as EVH or EVH. I keep calling it EVH and Gear. It's just Gear Network now, Music Gear Network. I'm not sure if he's going on tomorrow, or I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but I'm sure everybody's got their feed up to date, and you'll get your notifications hopefully when people go live. For me, I think a Monday night will probably be the next show, unless I want to come back on and do some more testing, either Friday, Saturday, Sunday somewhere, if I find the time, and if there's something that I need to test, to go live and actually test it live. Other than that, I'm just going to keep working on the system here, get that all figured out, and start recording again. I did post a video this week, another cover song video, and the cover song is by Aldo Nova, a Canadian artist back in he's still around, but he wrote that song back in the early 80s. It was Fantasy is the name of the song that I really liked when I was growing up, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's not too complicated. The solo is a little tricky because it's tricky for me because I'm not a real good lead player, so I tried my best, but it was good because I could actually, work at learning that solo as close as I could and just make it my own and get used to playing lead, because like I said, I haven't played lead guitar. I haven't played guitar basically. I played bass all my life, so doing that was kind of fun. And so yeah, if you want to see that video, just go on my channel there, and it's there. I'm going to be trying to do some different things. I've actually got an idea. I don't know what song I'm going to cover next, but I'm going to pick one. But the next video, the way that I shoot the video will be a little differently. I want to try some stuff with green screen, so that'll be interesting. An interesting experiment. I've done green screen before, but not really to the extent that I'm looking to do it on this next project. So stay tuned. That will be coming up at some point, and hopefully it works out, because like I said, green screen is fun, but it can also look very cheesy if it's not done right. So the goal is to play around and see how I can get that to look as good as possible, because if I can do what I'm planning to do, that'll really make things a lot easier for future projects if I want to shoot on green screen. Because sometimes I have a great studio here, I really like my space and everything, but if every video is the same scene, basically you're shooting in the same location and everything, it can get a little boring. Well, for me it does anyway, so I like to change things up. So if I can make this green screen setup work, other videos down the road, I can change that background and that setting every time if I want to, as long as it looks decent and it doesn't look cheesy. So that'll be fun, and I'll try that. So stay tuned. There'll be some more stuff coming with that. And my regular live streams on Monday nights, we always have a good time on those. We'll cover all kinds of things, and yeah, hopefully we get a little bit more good weather. We're getting to the end here with being in September already. I'm supposed to get I lease my truck, and my truck lease is up in April. And right now there's huge deals, I guess, employee pricing and all this stuff on the 2019 trucks. Basically, they're trying to blow those out. So they've offered me a deal which basically just gets me into a new vehicle, and my payments, everything stays the same. And so if I want to get out of my lease a few months early, I can do that. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do that. The colors and stuff on the trucks are limited because obviously they're down to the bottom of the inventory, as the end of 2019 model year comes quickly with these dealerships. So I don't know, another decision I have to ponder. All right. So I hope you guys had a good little time this afternoon, and it was just more of a talk about the new setup and some of the new gear, and the hopefully showed you something interesting with the drum program, and that might have sparked some ideas for you. Who knows, right? Let me just see here. Media one. Cool. All right. And so what did I see here? Butterfly says, sorry all, no show for Eric tomorrow. He may go live, though, never know. Yeah, so Eric, he doesn't have a guest, but sometimes he'll go live and do some stuff. So there we go. I'm just going to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything before we sign off and say goodbye. Good there. Rick Hefner said it snowed there last night. Wow. Just a little bit. Where the hell are you, Rick? It's kind of early for snow, well, in this area anyway, but it doesn't surprise me. Cool. Quentin James, I suppose, surprised. Ribeye, all buried in a ketchup. Oh, God. High in the Colorado Rockies. Okay. So, yeah, I can see where you would get some snow. All right, folks. Well, let's call it an afternoon, I should say. Hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you guys in some other Guitar Hacks show probably tonight if he's on at 8. I'll jump in there and say hi to you folks, and we can have some more cool discussions, hopefully. And, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day and the end of the week here, as Friday is tomorrow. So, yeehaw. Thank God for that. And, that's it. All right. So, thanks for jumping in. Until next time, toodly-doo.